Are we live? Are we live? We're live. Oh my God. Okay, so how's everybody doing today? I know I've been gone for a minute, but I'm back, or I think I'm back, because it is hard to get back on YouTube after being gone for a while. You just kind of feel weird, it feels like strange talking and hoping to make sense to everybody and, saying what I want to say and what I mean to say, and saying it and all that. So, you know, but it is good to be back, y'all. So I wanted to talk about something that, I talk about all the time. It's kind of one of the things that I talk about the most, and that is magic and practicing magic and practicing often and doing magic often, something that I even, lack sometimes, a lot of times, honestly, you know. And it's something that I think it's easy to fall out of, it's to fall out of practice when it comes to magic. Simply because, well, for me, it's because of a time thing, me kind of like being constrained with my time, especially because I work and I have certain hours of the day free for myself. So I tend to, I guess with that time, just watch TV and talk on the phone with friends and, living life, living that mundane third dimensional life. And before you know it, days pass by, weeks pass by, months pass by, and you haven't even done one spell. So that's just what happens, especially if you work, and things like that. So it is very easy for you to lose yourself or kind of like forget about magic and time passing by and shit. And we all know life is short, so you got to get as many spells in that you can to make shit happen in this life. You know what I'm saying? Because time does fly. So time is not our friend whatsoever. Okay, not in this dimension, in this reality that we call, I guess, what, the universe or planet Earth, whatever you want to call it, where we live, you know what I'm saying? This thing here, that this reality that we have. Um, but you have to snap out of it. You can't be just kind of like lollygagging and just kind of waking up, go to work, watch TV, go to sleep, wake up, and do all of that, and forget about magic, especially if you want to call yourself a witch, especially if you have that gift and ability. You know, um, you have to practice. I mean, you can't just, daydream all day about it and, fantasize, because I do watch a lot of magic and witchy shows. So it's like, that's not magic. Watching those shows, I do get my little magic fix, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes I'd be watching those shows and I'd be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to get back on my magic. But those shows are not magic. That's not spell. That's not your spells. You know what I'm saying? So watching those shows that's not witchcraft, okay? Witchcraft is you yourself putting your energy out there, you yourself channeling and performing these rituals, you yourself, okay? So practice is a must. Practice is a must. Getting in there and doing it is a must. And honestly, not even just spell work, it's the meditation and the work. Because see, what I would do back in the day, and I haven't done this in such a long time. Oh my God, I have not done this in a long time. But y'all, I still feel awkward talking on here, okay? So what I have not done in a long time is I haven't done my scrying and divination work, which I used to do every night back in the day. But I began to slack. So this divination working, I was doing with a particular spirit who is known for psychic development and psychic mastery, and learning how to see spirits and this spirit assists you in developing those gifts. And basically you have to scribe for this spirit, looking into a obsidian ball. I mean, you can use many things, you know, you can use many objects to scribe, but the one that I was using, it was a black obsidian orb that I used, and I used to channel the spirit and see it in there, and just that alone helped me immensely develop my gifts, my psychic gifts, my remote viewing gifts, being able to I don't want to say read minds, but being able to kind of think what the person was thinking. Like if I thought something, they would say it, like literally the same exact word that I was just thinking, they would say it, or we would even sometimes even say it at the same time, you know, like out loud. So things like that, you know, we're developing immensely while working with this spirit. But, you know, months go by, you know, things like that, and eventually, yeah, like it just stops, you know. And that's okay for you to take a break and to stop, but you have to eventually go back to it, you know, especially if you care about developing your gifts, you know, because the only way you're going to get better at whatever you're doing is to continue working it. You know, you can't just scribe for like 2 months and then stop for a whole year and then start scrying again and expect that you're going to see the same or reap the same results that you did when you were kind of getting the hang of it, you know, a year ago. You know what I'm saying? So you have to continue developing this. Now, I do want to say that you can get to a point, let's say if you developed yourself immensely and then you take like a long ass break and then you come back, I feel like it'll be easier for you to get back, especially if you developed an innate channeling gift of meditation and trance work, okay? And knowing how to get into that trance, because that's really the key to being able to do magic. So if you're able to do that, it's kind of like riding a bike. You know what I'm saying? Once you know how to do that, once you know how to get into trance, really anything else after that is just nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you have to master getting into the trance. And you know what? That is basically what it is about, is getting in that trance, getting in that state of awareness and getting into that every day. You know, that's really what they say is the best way to develop yourself magically, is to get into that trance every day. And you know, getting through that is through meditation. So they say meditate 20 minutes a day every day. That's what the gurus tell you. Well, at least the ones that I've that I followed. They tell you, you know, 20 minutes a day. That's the secret to developing yourself spiritually, okay? And that's really nothing. You can do 20 minutes a day easily. You know what I'm saying? You could meditate for 20 minutes a day, and that's nothing. But, you know, like I said, life does get in the way. And you may skip a day. You may skip a whole week, you know, where you don't meditate. But, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't even know what the fuck happened. Like a viewer just came in and kind of like threw me off course. But yeah, like I was saying, you just have to meditate. You have to meditate every day, allegedly. And that is what allegedly you have to do in order to develop yourself magically. But yeah, I haven't done that, and I don't do that myself because I have mastered the ability to get into trance. And I know how to do it pretty easily because there was a time where I was practicing often, where I was doing this regularly, you know, and that was a few years ago, back when I was a newbie, when I was, what do they call it? a neophyte, back when I was a neophyte. And I used to, you know, sit with a bowl of water, a black, it wasn't a bowl, it was a plate. It was a black plate that had a little, you know, dip to it. And I would pour water and I would sit there every single fucking night. And this was back in 2011. And I would sit there and I would strain my fucking eyes out just looking at that goddamn that goddamn plate, you know what I'm saying? And later, you know, I learned from a guru that you have to relax your eyes. Don't force your eyes. Don't strain your eyes. You have to kind of just like let your eyes relax and even have them a little bit low, you know, just kind of relax them. And once I did that, it definitely helped, you know. So that's a little advice out there. If you scry, if you're looking into bowls, into mirrors and things like that, just relax your eyes because you can get into kind of like and it would be something that I would do without even knowing. It's just kind of like look hard and eventually my eyes would hurt and get tired and they would just kind of feel like they were bulging out, you know. So definitely relaxing the eyes, kind of like you're falling asleep, kind of just have your eyes like that, like very kind of like easy to just kind of like doze off type. You don't need to be like in full focus when you are gazing at a mirror or an object. You know, you can just relax. And you know what? I would say, I don't even know where the hell this show is going, honey. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just talking. Um, I want to say that you should start with that. I feel like starting your magical journey into developing your magical gifts should be with scrying, looking into it, gazing. I feel like you need to develop that. That is one of the principal or elementary things that a witch who takes their magic seriously and takes their witchhood seriously should start developing that first. You need to start developing your gazing and your scrying first. Okay, so once you do that, and that takes a while, you know, that took me like, I want to say, uh, months to a year to master. Because at first, I'm just remembering now. Like at first, you know, when I was looking into the bowl or into the I'm gonna call it a bowl because that's what comes into my mind. A bowl, even though it was a plate, but we're gonna say bowl if that's what's coming out of my mouth. So I would gaze at it and I would see like red, like purple or reddish type of like, it was like a color that would kind of wash over the black, like a reddish or purplish type of like haze. And I would look up online, you know, and they would say that you would see that, you know, and that's one thing that I always do. Things that I see, things like that, I always look them up and see if other people, you know, resonate with what I've witnessed or what I experienced. I go look that up online, and usually, you know, when people say like, yeah, this happened, you know, hello viewer. Um, you know, when I would go see online or whatever, and they would say, you know, like, yeah, you see the red haze over the bowl or whatever, that's normal. I'm like, okay, I'm doing a good job. So at first, for a long time, I would see like a red type of or purplish type of color over the scrying bowl or the scrying plate, and that's really all that I would see is that. And sometimes I would even see like little like white dots appear, like little flashes of light that would appear when I would gaze at the bowl, you know, and I was not seeing any type of faces. I was not seeing any type of like things happening yet, but I was seeing just this red type of like I don't even know how to describe it, but it was like reddish in color, and I would see that, you know, so I would just kind of like gaze. Um, and I would call on, you know, spirits too. I would say, you know, show me spirits, you know, calling on them. Um, But it's just continuing the practice. Even when you don't see anything, you have to continue. That's the only way you're going to get better at magic, at what you're doing, is just doing it, you know, and having faith, even if you don't see anything. Because, you know, there's been times where I'm trying to look in the mirror or whatever, and, you know, I'm having a difficult time seeing the spirit, you know, and I get frustrated. That's happened, you know what I'm saying? That I've finished the ritual and I feel kind of like incomplete, or like I didn't do it right because I didn't see the spirit, you know. And that's also something that you have to let go of, because, you know, it doesn't matter if you don't see the spirit in the mirror or whatever. Like, that should not be the end all be all to if the spirit came through or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have other ways also of knowing if the spirit is around you. And all these things come through practice. You know, you have to take this seriously, you know, even if it's like hard to believe, you know, because at first I did have a hard time even believing this, even believing, you know, that magic was real. You know, in a way I did, you know, subconscious part of me. And these were all defense mechanisms that I think I created, you know, because a part of me was afraid of my own progression, you know. And that's something that I've had to fight and overcome. And maybe, you know, a lot of us have that in us, where a part of us feels like, you know, a subconscious part of ourselves, they feel like this isn't real, you know, like, and you create a blockage, and that enacts itself in your life. So you have to be able to recognize that, you know what I'm saying? And that's something that I've had to overcome in time, where I second guess myself and I'm like, man, this isn't real. Like I'm just, you know, but things would happen. And, you know, this all comes through with practice. It's doing the magic and seeing the results. You know what I'm saying? And that only comes through practice. Okay. You can talk about witchcraft all day. You can talk about magic all day. You can talk about, you know, candles and incense and herbs. You can know all of the combinations. You can know all of the practical, strategical ways, and you know how to do this and that. But that doesn't matter. You know, you have to get on the fucking floor, or, you know, on your altar, wherever the hell you be at. You have to get in there and get in those fucking states of consciousness, those trances, and do the fucking magic and push your will out. And that's through action, that's through practice. That's not through, you know, fantasizing, you know. And even that, like fantasizing and visualization, that's an integral part of magic. And knowing how to focus on your desire and your will, you know, that. So, you know, you're doing all this fucking fantasizing and you know, all of this shit, but what you need to be doing is focusing that shit on your intention, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, take your gifts and hone them. And with magic, we're able to develop and hone our imagination and our fantasizing, you know. Imagination, you know, the word magic is in there. Imagination, MAGI is in that word. So our imagination and magic is like two sides of the same coin. Okay, without the imagination there is no magic, you know what I'm saying? So you have to learn how to develop that too, and that is through practice. You have to learn how to focus. And, you know, I've read a lot of books. Most of them I have not read. I have not read completely. You know, usually these magic books, I don't read them from start to finish. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these books, you know, they have like these steps that you have to take, or that you should take, when it comes to visualization and meditation. You know, these practices, or these little workshops that you have to do, you know, where you basically have to sit there every day and visualize one of those clocks, and it's swinging, you know, side to side, and visualize that for 10 minutes straight and all of that shit. I never did any of that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those books, they kind of turn you off to developing these gifts, because of these strenuous fucking exercises that they tell you that you should do in order to, you know, have enough uh, visualization power to move your will. When, you know, I never did any of those fucking exercises. I've tried them, but I'm just not good at that, you know. I'm about my passion and being in the moment when it comes to my magic. You know, something that I want, something that I desire, something that I want to put out there with my will. You know, if I want it, I'm putting it in the fucking magic. I'm putting it in that sigil. I'm putting it, you know, in the candle. I'm putting it in the flame. I'm putting it in the ether. Um, but I'm putting it, and I've developed my own formula. You know, I've developed my own way of doing this, and that has been through practice. You know, I've developed my own way, and also I feel like I am naturally, innately a magical person. You know, that I naturally within me have magical gifts. Now, a lot of people are going to say, like, oh, you know, everybody has the ability for magic. I don't know that. That's what everybody says, right? That's what, you know, you read. That's what all these witches online and everywhere say, that, oh, you know, everybody can be psychic. Anybody can be a witch. Everybody can do this. Well, you know what? I don't know if that's the case. But all I know for me, because all I know is me, I personally feel like I was born to do magic, or I was born with a magic touch because of my childhood, and because this is something that so young in age, gravitated towards, you know, um, and the things that I've experienced in my life. And this was just where it went to, was to magic and witchcraft and things like that. That's just where I gravitated towards so naturally, so passively, you know what I'm saying? Was to this. That is where the wind led me. You know, it's kind of like seeing that leaf floating in the air, and I followed that fucking leaf, and that was the leaf of magic. You know, and after all of these years, from you know, being a kid in, you know, the single digits as far as age, to where I'm at now, at my age that I am now, and I still have stuck to this witchcraft thing, to this magic thing. I'm still here. You know, I've had people come into my life, you know, and introduce them to magic, and they don't do it no more, you know. And it's so funny how me as a kid, like in middle school, I was meeting people in their fucking 20s and putting them onto magic, and it was crazy. Like, people that I would meet, like, I would tell them about it or whatever the fuck, like, somehow, I don't remember that, you know, it was years ago, but like, yeah, I put them on, you know what I'm saying, to magic. There are individuals out there that did magic when I was fucking 12 and 13, that are in their that were in their 20s, okay? I put them on. You know what I'm saying? So like, this is something that I feel like I carry within me. And me knowing that, I feel like it's in me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, and I'm just speaking for myself, you know, because I feel like I've gotten to the point where I could say this, because I have put in the work, because I have, you know, been in this magic game for so long, you know, and because I have put in the fucking work, and I have seen results, and I know what works. Because of that, I feel like I can go 6 months without casting a spell. I can go, you know, 8 months without doing magic. I can go a year without casting a spell. And then when I do cast a spell a year later, that spell will motherfucking work, because I know what I'm doing, and because I feel like I am naturally passively magical. You know what I'm saying? My thoughts are magical. Even if I don't cast a spell, I can think shit and it will happen. Okay? I don't have to do a ritual to be a psychic. Okay? Shit, that's naturally within me. That's passively me. You know what I'm saying? But I can say that scrying, like scrying, looking into an object, into a mirror, that is not something that, like, I had to work to develop that ability. So if I don't practice it, I do lose it. But you get it back through practice. You know what I'm saying? You do get it back through practice. So yeah, scrying is something that definitely, if you don't do her constantly, you do lose it. You do lose it, and you have to practice every day again and it's like starting all over again, because that would happen to me. Like I would scry for like every single day for like months, and I would see the spirit's face. I would see them, clearly. I would see the eyes, I would see the nose, I would see the mouth, and I work with multiple spirits, and the spirit will come looking different. So it's not like if it's the same face showing up. No, it'll be different faces with different spirits. Okay, and I would do that, then stop, and then like months later, I would come back, and I would not see the spirit right away. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I would get frustrated, and I'll feel like, damn, this shit didn't work. You know what I'm saying? And I would feel some kind of way. But then, just working again and again and again, then the spirit starts showing up again. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I feel like I've outgrown scrying for spirits when it comes to evocations or when it comes to doing ritual work. Like, I don't need to scry. I don't need to know that my magic is working. I don't need to scry. I don't need to scry and look at a spirit and have it, be there, like for me to see it, for me to know that my magic is working. And I don't feel like that's a requirement for my magic to work. So I don't use a scrying mirror anymore when I perform an evocation or when I perform a ritual. I do not use a scrying mirror no more. I haven't even looked at that ball in a long time. You know what I'm saying? Is there when I need it, and if I ever, want to, revisit scrying for spirits and things like that, then okay. But I've developed my magic that like I don't need to like look at a mirror, because I've developed other abilities that I know the spirit is in the room. You know what I'm saying? Before, that mirror was like a crutch for me to use and see the spirit in there, for me to know that it's in the room. But now I don't need that mirror to know that the spirit's in the room, honey, because I can feel the spirit in the room, and the spirit now it makes noises and it does things in the room so that I know that it's here. Okay, and it happens consistently. It's not something that happens like, oh no, honey. Every time I do motherfucking evocation, every time I call in a spirit, that shit does noises, and that shit like lets me know that it's here, like on cue. Okay, so yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's through practice, okay? And because I feel like I'm passively magical, And I feel like I was born passively magical because of my ancestry and where I come from, you know what I'm saying? And my lineage, okay? And I have the receipts of my lineage knowing that it's magical, okay? This isn't shit that I'm just like telling you and I don't have no motherfucking proof. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have proof, and also I was born with a call, with a veil. And that, when I looked it up, that says that, you are destined to be a witch, destined to be magical. So I have just too many things like concocted in my mixture. Like in my recipe, there's too many magical ingredients. Like, yeah, I was a recipe for magic, honey. It's too much sauce up in here that's magic related. You know what I'm saying? It just is, okay? Um, and that's why I'm here talking to y'all now. You feel me? So for y'all out there that don't got this sauce, because I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you wasn't born with the sauce, you could buy the sauce. You can learn how to make your own sauce. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's gonna be as good as mine, and I'm gonna have to see her. You know what I'm saying? You will have to show me, but you can get your sauce. You know what I'm saying? And that is through practice. You're not gonna become a master chef overnight, sweetheart. You have to cook. You have to get in the motherfucking kitchen, okay? And you have to go through failures. You have to go through, all type of, situations, and also go through winning. Go through, your delicious meals coming through, going through, like, damn, tasting this sauce, and it's like, she is good, honey. And until you master it, that is what you have to do with this magic, okay? And even for the ones that are passive with the magic, that was born into the magic, that the magic is in their blood and they gravitated towards it just like I did, you still have to practice and work, because like I said, my divination, my scrying abilities, that's not passively in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I am my astrological, correspondences do give for psychic abilities, but as far as like seeing, like in like a mirror or a surface, like I had to develop that. That did not come like right away. You know what I'm saying? And what else didn't come right away? Yeah, money magic, money magic. Oh yes, honey. Let's get into it. Money magic. That was something that was very hard for me. Okay, that took me a while to master, and that was through practice. What I was passively good at was curses. Um, curses is something that I'm passively good at. Like that's something that like I no problem. I can curse a bitch. I can fuck your life up. Cause all type of fucked up shit to happen. That I can do, no problem. But money and love work, that is something that I have to practice to get good at. You know what I'm saying? And money work, I can say that I got a grip on it, and that's through practice. You know what I'm saying? Continuous practice, because I didn't give up. You know what I'm saying? Because things that were happening in my life forced me to get on my shit. Okay? And I have mastered money magic now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I does that. I fucks with money magic, okay? And I get results. And that's through practice and work and success. You know what I'm saying? And the only way you get through success is to go through failures. And that's a part of it. You cannot give up. You cannot give up with magic, okay? You have to continue to motherfucking do it. And that's doing multiple spells, okay? Doing multiple workings. So you do a working, and 2 weeks later, you do another working. And then 2 weeks later after that, you do another working. You know what I'm saying? You have to continuously do magic in order to be successful in it, especially something that you know you're not good at. So I definitely had to go in with money magic. I definitely had to practice and continue to do the work. And I was getting money, things were coming through. I was getting 20s, I was getting hundreds. It was just happening, until finally, bam, you know what I'm saying? I got that job that I wanted. So it was like a snowball effect, things progressively were getting better and better and better. So I developed myself when it comes to money magic, and now love magic is something that I am not good at. You know what I'm saying? Like, that I have to work on, and that is through practice. You know what I'm saying? I can't sit here and fantasize all fucking day about, oh, love work and doing love spells and this and that, and you don't fucking do it. Okay? So studying, yeah, looking at books, reading, websites and things like that, but you also have to light those candles, get into those trances, and do your motherfucking work. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way that this is going to improve. That's the only way you can say that you're a witch. You're not a fucking witch if you're over here watching TV shows all day, and over here, you watch Charmed and you think you're a witch. You have a little altar, some candles, and you're taking pictures, posting them on Instagram. Oh, you're a witch? No, sweetheart. No, that don't make you a witch, honey. You have to get on your motherfucking knees, okay, or wherever the fuck you go, and get in those trances and do that work. That's the only way that you are going to get better at magic. And you have to believe yourself. You have to believe that you are good at this. You have to know that you are, a grandmaster witch when you are doing your spells. You can't be like, oh, did it work? Is this real? No, you can't think that. You have to, when you get in that trance, when you meditate and you get in that trance and you call the energies and the powers of the universe to flow through you, because that's what you have to do. before you cast that spell. If you're just getting over here lighting candles and saying little chants, no, 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 no. You have to meditate, summon the universe to go through you, okay, through you, visualizing that power surging through your entire being and creating that battery to, you know, because that's what I do. I don't know about y'all, that's what I do, okay? You call that energy down through your body and you make that battery run, you know what I'm saying? And you push your will out into the universe. That is what you have to do, okay? So yeah, you guys, it's with practice and dedication, you know, that's the only way to get to the levels where your magic is going to be consistently working every time. Yeah, that's what I was going to fucking say. You have to develop that. You have to develop like a type of like, you have to be cocky with your magic when you are doing your spell work. I'm not saying being cocky like out here in the streets and over here, you know, talking about like I'm the baddest witch, you know, on this side of the block. I'm not saying that. But when you're in your ritual and you call that energy down, you are the universe in incarnate at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're feeling the universe flowing through you, you can't be thinking like, oh, I'm scared, or is this gonna work, or oh my, like no, 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 no. You have to like, you have to just extend your arms out and just, oh my God, like just shoot out like immense, you know, atomic energy. Like you have to, you know, you have to feel like you are a god. Yeah. You have to feel like you are a god. You are your god. At that point, you're God. You have to get into the role playing of it. You know what I'm saying? You have to get into the role playing of that ritual and know that every word that comes out of your mouth is like a universe being created. You know what I'm saying? That's how you have to feel when you are doing that ritual. You know, and you say what you gotta say, you release that energy, and once you're done and you give the spirits license to depart, and then you come back to you being your regular you. You know what I'm saying? And me, I get to the point that like I don't even remember a lot of shit. Like I could do a ritual, right? And like go to sleep, then wake up the next day, and I don't remember a lot of the ritual. Like I have to really think about it. Like, wait, did that happen? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and see, they tell you once you do a ritual or a spell to let it go. You know, don't think about it. You have to like, and I've become so good at that. You know, back in the day when I was a newbie, I used to focus on like, I'll be like, oh my God, like, you know, is it gonna work? I used to like kind of like relive the whole spell, like what did I do wrong and all of that shit. But now I've forgotten, you know, like I be forgetting. And you know what got me good at doing that is doing spell after spell after spell back to back. Because if you do a spell, right, you might be thinking about that spell a lot, but if you do that spell and you got another one that you got to practice and work on, you're going to forget about the one that you just did, you know what I'm saying? Because you got another spell that you got to do, you know what I'm saying? So I would do a spell and I would have already, bam, another spell that I need to start practicing on and, you know, studying on and focusing on. So I'll focus my whole attention on a whole nother motherfucking spell. And I won't even think about the one I just did, you know? So that really helped me become good at not focusing, you know, and thinking about like, oh, the spell, you know. So look, it's practice, y'all. That's the only way that this is going to get better. You know what I'm saying? You have to practice and try new things too, you know, new forms of magic. You know, if you start with your little candle magic at first, you know, and then if you want to do some sympathetic later, you want to introduce some herbs, you want to introduce stones, if you want to introduce anything, you know, there's the sky is the limit with magic and creativity and all of those things. So you can definitely bring things in, you know, and even tarot cards, because tarot cards have helped me a lot focusing my intent and my will. So if there are certain spells, you know, that like a money spell, you take out certain tarot cards, like the Ace of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, you know, things like that. The King of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, you know, so you laying those cards out, they help you focus. And even bringing dollar bills, you know, things like that. So, you know, little things like that definitely help, you know. They aren't things that you should have as crutches, but it can help. And if you know how to do certain things with magic and your creativity and your imagination, you can actually take the energy of those cards and the energy of that money, you know, and take it out of the cards and put it into your will. You know what I'm saying? But that's through practice that you can do that, and getting into your trances, you know what I'm saying? And you just having the magical creativity, and you know, because like I said, the sky's the limit with magic. Okay, you can do anything creative with energy. Okay, so yeah, you can take that energy of that dollar bill and physically, cause see, when I visualize, I don't see it like oh, the colors and all that shit. No, but like I know, like I don't have to see it. Look, this is the, I can't even like, you have to practice. That's all I could say, y'all. You have to fucking practice. You have to practice. Okay, because me a few years ago, you know, it was really hard. It was hard to come to the conclusion that this is real, you know, that this works, that me, you know, doing this is gonna cause a result. But I stuck to it and the results started happening. I was getting the fucking dreams, I was getting the fucking visualizations, I was getting the fucking spirits coming to me, you know, in lucid dreams, and coming to me during sleep paralysis. You know, the spirits will come and show up, you know. It was too much stuff that was happening that I couldn't deny it no more. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't deny, I couldn't say this is not real. I just couldn't say it no more because the shit was happening. Okay, like real life, like spirits were coming, showing up at the foot of my fucking bed, like, you know what I'm saying? And the shit, it was scary. Okay, it was, but you know what? I'm a witch, so this is part of the deal. Spirits are part of the deal. Okay, so you can't be scared. You know what I'm saying? And but guess what? I had a fear of the dark. I had a fear of the dark when I was a kid. And you know what brought that fear of the dark was lucid dreaming and astral projection and sleep paralysis. You know, that happened very young when I was a kid. Like I would say starting like in second grade. Second grade, yeah. Yeah, it was like second grade. I was having consistent sleep paralysis every fucking night, you know. And around that time, I know we're sidetracking from the story, but I'm feeling myself. You know. Well, you know what, we're gonna bring it back, okay? But so you know, I was sleep paralysis. I was sleep paralysising or having sleep paralysis episodes every fucking night. And around that time was the time that I discovered UFOs and aliens. Okay, I'll never forget this shit. I was living in New York, and you know, this on this TV show, they started talking about UFOs, like the flying saucers, and that shit freaked me the fuck out. And I that shit scared me. It traumatized me. So I would be like in my bed, awake, just looking at my room, just looking around in the dark, just waiting for something to come, you know. And you know, I would fall asleep without realizing it, and the episode would happen. I would be paralyzed in my bed. I felt like I had a fucking like a sheet over me. It was like see-through, and I just felt like somebody was in the room, and I would wake up so freaked out and so scared. And I would go to my parents' room, you know, every fucking night. And it got to the point that my mom had to turn on the kitchen light so that I had light. And through that, I developed that fear of the dark, you know? And I would have this sleep paralysis all the fucking time, all the time when I was growing up. And it got to the point where in high school, I met a Wiccan, okay? And he gave me a book on astral projection. And see, and this is what I was saying earlier about me being an innately magical person. So like the first night that I read that book, okay? The first fucking night that I read that book, I had an astral projection. And that night that I had the astral projection is when I realized that all these years, every single time that I had a sleep paralysis, that was an astral projection. Sleep paralysis is astral projection. Sleep paralysis is the beginning of an astral projection episode. The thing is, you have to learn how to get up out of that bed and not be paralyzed and start walking out of your room, okay? And I've developed that ability. You know what I'm saying? But see, that was, I guess, astral projection or lucid dreaming is a passive ability that I have as an innately magical person because that happened to me so young. And I developed a phobia of the dark because of that fucking ability. Okay? And I didn't overcome that ability until recently. Or I didn't overcome that fear of the dark until very recently, a few years ago. And now I sleep in a dark room with a motherfucking blindfold on. How about that? How about that? Okay? I sleep in a fucking dark room with a blindfold on. Yes. But guess what? I had to like master my fear. And the only way I did that was through throwing my stuff in the deep end and sitting my ass in a fucking dark room. Cause see, I would be afraid of a ghost or an alien coming to get me, like just or having something grab me. But you know, like I said a few minutes ago, but I'm a witch. Why am I afraid of something grabbing me? If something is grabbing me, then that's a confirmation of the spirit realm, of the spirit world. And shit, like, you know, ain't nothing ever flew at me before. I never had nothing, nothing hit me, you know, like a glass being thrown across the room. That's never happened before. So what the fuck am I afraid of? You know, I had to literally sit there. It was like a death. That was like a fucking death. And, you know, that was a death and a resurrection. You know what I'm saying? Because I was afraid. Yeah, I was sitting there and I was like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Like it's you have to overcome that hill. You have to like hit that peak where you want to get the fuck up and run. And eventually, like, nothing's got me yet. Okay, I've been here, nothing's, you know, and I had to do that. I think I did that maybe like 2 or 3 times. And eventually I didn't even realize when I overcame it. It wasn't until like months into me putting my blindfold on and going to sleep. Cause see, like, I like when I wake up, like the light bothers me because my window. So like, you know, I just naturally, you know, I had the blindfold. Oh, and also side T, that blindfold helped me with a lot of my astral projection when I lived in Atlanta and I lived with roommates. Like I went to college, so like like my roommate was like in the room with me. Okay, so we shared a fucking room. So like I had that blindfold on. So and around that time I was developing my astral projection and my lucid dreaming a lot. So but that's a side story. But anyway, that blindfold. So yeah, like I overcame that fear of the dark. And that was through practice. That was through facing my fears, you know, and that took my magic to a whole nother level because like I said, I did have a fear. There was a fear of the unknown. But me being a magical person, the unknown is like my realm. So what the fuck am I? Why should I be afraid? I should be able to. I shouldn't be able to handle that as a witch. As the witch, you should be able to handle a motherfucking ghost in your house. As a witch, you should be able to handle a motherfucking demon. As a witch, you should know how to summon demons. As a witch, you should be able to know how to handle a motherfucking intergalactical entity coming to your house or showing up. You know what I'm saying? That's normal. That's every day. So, you know, that's just what it is, y'all. Like, this isn't all like fucking strawberries and grapefruits and shit. You know, magic it is serious. It is something that, you know, you have to develop and grow into. So I've been talking here for a while now. I don't want to ramble too much, and this motherfucking dog is out here acting a goddamn fool. So I'm gonna go, y'all. It was very nice talking, and I will see you guys on the next one.